I guess what we want to do, I want to learn a keta in the Bnei Yisachar. It's not actually, it's not only in the Bnei Yisachar, but I want to base it on the Bnei Yisachar. It's about Tikub HaChodesh Shofar B'Kesed Yom Chagenu K'Chok Yisrael Hu Mishpat Elokei Yaakov. What does it mean B'Kesed? What does it mean B'Kesed? B'Kesed usually means, the Pshat HaPasha of the B'Kesed means that it's hidden. The Bnei Yisachar talks about something else here, and the Maharal and Sefer Shvarim also. We want to learn a couple of things. Amar Bayit. So the first page starts like this. Amar Bayit. Hashte da'amlet simanam nosa. Yehi adam lagil le'achol brei shata. So the Gemara says that a person should eat at the beginning of the Chag. A person should eat on Rosh Hashana. He should eat things that are reminding us of good things. A rosh, a flach b'dvash, all sorts of things. Simanim. The simanim that there are. להבין הדברים, למה יהיה כזאת שיהיה הסימן מועיל לאיזה פעולה? What is the siman going to help? Is the siman בכלל going to help? It sounds like some sort of weird thing. So you think, so look in the second page there. It brings down from the Maharal. He says, Amar Abai, Hashadam et simanim nosehi, Yehi ragil lemechal breishata, kara v'rubya, all the things that you're supposed to eat. גם דבר זה מצאתי שהם דברים תמוהים מפני מה שנראה להם שהם ניחוש. It looks like it's ניחוש. It looks like it's some sort of weird thing that's also, it's some sort of a reserve of some sort. ודבר זה אינו שאם כן יהיה מעשה אלישע ומעשה ירמיה עניין ניחוש. Because there were all sorts of things like this in the Tanakh also, that Baruch Hu said, go do this. וזה שירמיה ציווה לברוך בן נריה, right? In ספר ירמיהו he says, והיה בחלותך לקרוא את דברי הספר הזה, תקשור עליו אבן בהשלכתו אל תוך פרת, ואמרת ככה תשקע בבל. It was a sin and the bubble would be shokea and won't be anymore. So it can't be that it's an avodah of some sort. It can't be that there's something wrong with it. It can't be some sort of nichush. וכן עניין אלישע בהניח זרועות על הקשת. Right? He grabbed the arrow, the bow and arrow. ויאמר אלישע ירא ויורה ויאמר חץ תשועה להשם וחץ תשועה בארם. So he said, because you were יורה the חץ, so it's going to be a תשועה בארם. It's going to be a good thing. ונאמר שם ויקצוף איש האלוקים, and then it says that Elisha said to him, ויאמר להכות 5 או 6 פעמים, אז הכית האדם הקלה. If you had done it 6 or 7 or 5 or 6 times, so then you would have finished off Aram. And because you only did it 3 times, it's a simon that it's only going to be 3 times and no more. It's pshat that it's not a nichush. Some sort of nichush, some sort of game of that's not right up here. Allah, it's also to do that. Nichush. What is this? This is a siman that the thing is finished. ודבר זה ביאר הרב הגדול הרמב"ן המקובל האלוקי אשר אליו לבד נגלו תעלומות חוכמה וסודי התורה. Ramban is the only one, according to the Maharal, that got really the Chokhmah, the Torah of the Kabbalah. וכתב בפרשת לך לך וזה לשונו, ודע כל גזירת עליונים כאשר תצא הגזירה על פועל הדמיון תהיה הגזירה מקיימת על כל פנים. Any גזירה of הקדוש ברוך הוא, when it comes out, el poor hadimion, when it comes out into the dimion already, it comes out into the ratzon of a person, it comes out into the dimion that's coming down, right? The imagination. So it's going to be mitkayem. And therefore, because the dimion is already starting to work in that direction, that's why the Nevi'im are doing, through the Nevuah, they're doing all sorts of maasim that look like, what does it have to do with anything? You're going to throw 5 chitzim, 6 chitzim, and you're going to finish off around. But if you had, because you have only 3, so it's only not going to be finished off completely. It's just going to be 3, right? So he says it's just going to be a little bit. So he says, "Ulachach yatsu hanavim maaseh b'nevuatam k'ma'amar Yirmiyahu lebaruch v'aya b'chalutcha v'chein inyan Elisha b'nichol zroa al hakeshet ולפיכך החזיק הקדוש ברוך הוא לאברהם בארץ ועשה לו דמיונות בכל העתיד לעשות בזרעו." Right? Also Avraham Avinu, he did all sorts of things to show him what's going to be. Ben Avtarim, and all sorts of things. They're doing a Maisa of a sort that's going to be later on, but it's not it's not happening right now. It's not happening right now. But since it already came into the dinyon, since it already came into the imagination, it has a chalut. It's already starting now, and from now it's already working. From now it's already working. ומעתה תדע להבין דברים אלו, כי הדבר הזה הוא חוכמה. That was the original way of doing it. Today we say extra, we have to explain everything. But Lamaisa, that's not the original meaning. So he says here in the Bnei Yisachar, he goes on, Ba'abai Chashle l'rei shata. And that is this 10 Vayomers in Maaseh Breshit. And then it asks, either only 9. If you count them up, there are only 9 Vayomers. It says Breshit Nami Ma'amar Havi. Breshit is also Ma'amar. How is Breshit a Ma'amar? So he explains. So he's saying, Hine Yikshu Lama Lo Ne'emar Vayomer Kmo Be'inach. Why does it say Vayomer? Vayomer Elokim. Right? And he created. Right? He says about the creation. Why doesn't it say Vayomer? V'izbir Rav HaKadosh now. Hine Ma'amar Lo Yitzuya Lanu. Kima Yedei Otiyot. It's pashut that you can't say a Ma'amar without any letters. You need letters for that. V'inei Otiyot Gam Ken Nivru. But the Otiyot were also created. Ki me'echam nitavu halo ha'en sof baruch hu bor'am malkam b'adonam. HaKadosh Baruch Hu himself is creating the letters themselves also. So you have to create the letters. V'inei Otiyot nivru kodem. And the Otiyot were nivra before the Maasim themselves. B'cheivan shnivru ha'otiyot haya gilui yitpashtu ha'ma'amarot. And after the Otiyot were created, the letters were created, haya gilui yitpashtu ha'ma'amarot. So there was a gilui of the Ma'amarot started to go through. And that's Basra Ma'amarot, the Teisha Ma'amarot, that's it. The first Ma'amar is Breshit. Al ken be'inach Teisha ne'emar Vayomer. Therefore, because the first one, there was no oath yet. So he couldn't say Vayomer. You can't talk if there's no oath. So there's only 9. There's only 9. So, but Breshit is also Ma'amar. Listen carefully. Akein be'inach Teisha ne'emar Vayomer. So in the other 9 it says Vayomer. Ma she'en ken b'vriyah rishonah ne'emar Breshit bara Elokim et. What's et? Haynu ha'otiyot min aleph ataf. He's creating the otiyot. It's not just the Shamayim. And it's not just the Eretz. He's also creating the Otiyot, Breshit Bara Elokim. The Breshit is telling us this is a creation. There's a creation of Et. There's a creation of Aleph Ataf. There's a creation of Aleph Ataf. And that's the creation that's coming, Breshit. And that's why it's Vayomer. There are 9 Vayomers. But there's one in Breshit that's talking about Breshit Bara Elokim, Et. He's creating the Otiyot so that he can now use the Ma'amarot, that he cannot speak, which he couldn't beforehand. There's no tfisa of Dvar Hashem. Dvar Hashem Shemayim Na'asu. Right? Well, what's Dvar Hashem? Was there Otiyot in that? There's no Otiyot yet. That's B'Dvar Hashem. He's creating the Otiyot, and through those Otiyot, he's now creating. You can't talk about this as an Amirah. That's not a statement. That's not a word. That's not something he can say. Kevan shelo hayu adayin. V'zeh asher yatzu rishona reishit giluyam ayen shem b'dvarav. And this is what it says. This is the beginning of the Gilui, the beginning of what there was there. Okay? He says here, he brings down from the, in Gimel, on the second daf, he says, Beishit nami ma'amar havi. Who? Bekasher lichtov vayomer. Lichtov vayomer. In other words, kasher, it should have said vayomer. Why is it saying just Beishit? V'shamati perush hazeh ki hinei yadua b'sifrei ha'mekubalim. כי ראשית הכל נאצלו האותיות. In other words, first the אותיות were created. ואמר כך באותיות ברא הקדוש ברוך הוא כל העולמות. And he said through this that the אותיות were created, הקדוש ברוך הוא is creating all the העולמות. וזה סוד בראשית ברא אלוקים את. פירוש האותיות מאלף עד תף. נמצא כי הבריאה הראשונה, דהיינו האותיות בוודאי נאצלו במחשבה לבד בלי אמירה. He's saying a little bit more. In other words, it wasn't only that it was b'ma'amar, it wasn't the ma'amar, but it was b'machshava levad. The machshava of HaKadosh Baruch Hu brought out the otiyot, right? Ki amira hu b'otiyot, b'hei motzeot hapeh. The amira, when we say something, it's Behemotzot HaPeh, what's coming out of the mouth in 5 parts. Ki Amira hu Be'otiyot, Behemotzot HaPeh. V'adayin lo yetzil et Otiyot, but he didn't bring out the Otiyot yet. Al ken yetzil et Otiyot b'machshava levad b'lo Amira. Therefore, he brought out the Otiyot only through machshava. It wasn't through Amira. There wasn't Amira. So the Otiyot are coming through the machshava of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. לכך אי אפשר לכתוב אמירה כי לא הייתה ידי מאמר ולכן התרגום הוא בחוכמתה. Therefore, when it says Breshit, what is Targum Metargem? Bechachmata bar'alma, right? Bechachma, in other words, machshava, he's creating what? Breshit bara Elokim et. He's creating Aleph Ataf, he's creating the Otiyot, so that now he can give the Pekudah to create everything. That's how it's beginning. הנה המזכיר על דבר, לדעתי יתבונן, a person that's really deepening his thought to understand, to connect to, שהוא סוד הבחינה הראשונה בחינת כתר. There are 10 ספירות, כתר, חוכמה, בינה, חסד, גבורה, תפארת, נצח, הוד, יסוד מלכות, right? So there's 10 ספירות. The 10 ספירות are 10 ways that Baruch Hu is bringing his light into this world, right? Because if he brought all of his light, if the ore of the crown of Hashem Yisparach came into the world, Kivyachol, if that came into the world, we wouldn't be here. We couldn't take it. So it has to go through different avenues, different ways, in order to different funnels, so to speak, in order so that we can grasp it, right? So it goes from Keter all the way to Malchut. From Keter being the crown, all the way to a vessel to receive it. That's what it is. הנה המזכיר הדבר לדעתי יתבונן שהוא סוד הבחינה הראשונה בחינת כתר. What we're talking about here, the Bnei Yisachar is explaining that what we're talking about here is the sod of the keter. In other words, it's all the way up. The machshava of HaKadosh Baruch Hu is in the keter. She'eino nirmaz ba'ot rak b'kutzo sheyud. When we talk about Shem Hashem, Yud Kei Vav Kei, we're talking about that we can be merames in the otiyot of Shem Hashem. We can be merames all the 10 sfirot, right? The Yud is the Chokhmah of Hashem. The Hey is the Binah of Hashem, right? And the Vav is the Chesed Gvura Tiferet Netzach Hod Yisod, and the Malchus is the Hey Achronav of Shem Hashem. In the Yud itself, there's no Keter, but there's a remez to the Keter. There's a remez to the Machshava of Hashem Yisparach in the Kotzor of Shiur. Kotzor Shiur. In other words, it's pointing upward that there is some sort of remembrance of that, because we don't have any oath that can encompass that. We have nothing that can really fully bring that out. An oath brings out Chokhmah. Yud Chokhmah Kduma. The Yud is also Chokhmah. The top part of the Yud, the Kutzosha Yud, is just being meramezed that there's something above that's called the Machshava of Hashem Yisparach. Shu HaShoresh La Chokhmah Kduma. That's the Shoresh of what? Of the Yud. That's the Shoresh of the Chokhmah. Hanirmezet both Yud. Ki HaChokhmah mei ayin timatzei. Because the Chokhmah is coming from Ayin. What's Ayin? Ayin is nothingness. It's annulled by us. We don't know anything about it because it's Machshava Hashem Yisparach. That's called Keter. Ani b'malchus. Ani, I'm receiving. I can receive, right? But Ayin, Eitzel HaKeter. Ayin is all the way upward. So he says, V'taskil mi motza davar kasher yidaber ish al re'ehu. Now he explains the B'lashon Bnei Adam so we can also understand. Kasher yidaber ish al re'ehu. Eza davar, when a person speaks to his friend something, Hinei al yedei otiyot hadibur maskilo et asher im levavo. So I talk to my friend, I say to him something, I say what's in my heart, I'm talking to him. I'm able to express myself through these otiyot and through these vowels that I'm talking. Ma she'en ken kasher eino medaber imo. Kagon shechavero eino mevin et leshono v'chayotze. Let's say I have a friend, he's from China. I don't know, it's always translated. Now I see him, I don't even know how to speak to him. What do I do? Hinei mar'ehu maskilo al yedei ze siman. What do? I show him some sort of siman to the thing. I show some sort of siman, and that brings out the what I want to say. From this we understand that a siman is above the dibur, right? Nachon that the dibur can sometimes get more specific on a certain thing, but this is lemala me'adibur. Udavar shelo yachol litlabesh bedibur, because it can't get into dibur, it can't be enclosed in dibur. Ki be'im mityaled ha'adam ba'adam eza chokhmah mishoresh chokhmato, because if a person has some sort of idea coming into him from his chokhmah, from the shorish, from the root of his chokhmah. So if I get a certain idea, so I'm trying to get it across to the next person. It's not true if I'm trying to explain to my friend without any enclosement, without any understanding prior to that, but I'm just saying something beyond words. I just want to make a little, like remez, right? Like a little smirk, like a little movement with my hand, something like that. And he understands it. Because he understood the ilmim through the siman. The Gemara says that. I brought down the Gemara in Menachos. Whoever wants to see it, it's on the bottom here. That's why they called him Petachya. Patach nekudat patach. All of the vowels are divided into sfirot also. Komatz is in Keter, Patach is in Chokhmah, v'chule. Pia potcha b'chokhmah ven hadvarim hane'elamim. In other words, we have to understand what he's saying here, because this is really what it's about. We have a day. Basically, Rosh Hashanah is a day kulo simanim. It's not a day of any Yom Trua Yeh Lachem. What's a Yom Trua Yeh Lachem? It doesn't even explain to us that there's a Tkiya, that there's a Trua. It just says Yom Trua Yeh Lachem. And Chazal understood that Yom Trua is a Yom Din. Why is Yom Trua a Yom Din? Yom Trua is a Yom Din because if you take a line and you divide it, that's Din already. That is Din. Rachamim is when it's going endlessly. It's a line that's endless, right? It's going from one end of the world to the other. When you have something that you divide it, the more you divide something, the more Din there is. And that's how this world is. It's divided, and it becomes Din. And we want to make it, Chazal understood from this, that it's up to us
to change what's going on in the whole Bria.
On Rosh Hashanah, we have the Yecholet. Yisrael were given the Yecholet to change what's going on in the whole Bria. We have the shofar, we have the simanim, and there's no actual, like, what's going on. It's just simanim that we're giving. The shofar isn't saying anything. We don't say anything. It's a Yom Truah. Just be tokeh. Just be Meiriah Lifnei Hashem. And this is why it's so important what he said, and he brings another raya here. If we look just a little bit more, v'neited bonen yedidi lefi zeh davar nechmad mishnah shleima b'rishona hayu masin masuot. They used to, if they were going to be mekadesh the chodesh, right? Lohodia kiddush hachodesh b'itchadshut hayareach sod malchut peh. In other words, they used to make all sorts of fires from one to the other. Vayu modina davar al yedei siman. They would do it through a siman. Lorot sof ha'maaseh b'machshavat tchila, to show us the sof maaseh b'machshavat tchila. In other words, shehu sod hamisiman. In other words, it's showing us what is. Bemet, there's a chiddush coming into the world. Meis Hashem Yisparach b'sod ha'machshava. It's coming into the world. Bim einei sichlecha lecha tavin shegam b'sod miut hayareach nishar nekuda ikarit b'chinat kitra ki lesham ein magia apgam kanota. Now, what's the difference between the Keter and the Malchus? What's the difference if I say something specific, or if I just make a siman about it? When I make a siman, there's no on the world of above everything. There's no din. That's kulo chesed. Rachamim gdolim akapsech. It's mamish the world of rachamim gdolim. When we get up to the Keter, when HaKadosh Baruch Hu is all the way up, and not dealing in this world, there's no din up there. There's no din. So what happens is on Rosh Hashanah, we're bringing up the Malchus. The Malchus is going and hiding, basically, in front of, behind the Keter, and the Satan can't find it. The Satan can't find the din, right? The Satan can't find what's going on, and what happens is the Satan keeps looking for it, and HaKadosh Baruch Hu is hiding it, right? Is hiding it, and what happens is the din is nimtak. What are we doing when we're being tokeh? HaKadosh Baruch Hu says to us, Yom Truah Yeh Lechem, right? Yom Truah Yeh Lechem. When? Tiku b'chodesh shofar b'kesel Yom Chagenu. B'kesel Yom Chagenu. You have to be tokeh in the shofar when? B'kesel. You have to do it at a certain time period. What's the time period? The time period is when there's a kesed. Kesef means that the areach is mechuseh. We have no akar of anything. Where is it mechuseh? It's behind everything. It's not receiving from anything. It's only receiving Meis Hashem. The main difference between the sun and the moon is that the sun is always giving and the moon is always receiving. But then there's a time during the month that the moon is also giving, right? All the major Pesach and Sukkot are on those time periods that the moon is giving. But Lamaisa, there's a time, there's one Chag that's the beginning of the month. There's actually two. The Rabbanan, there's Chanukah, which also comes out during that time period. But the main Doraisa is Bekesel Yom Chagenu that it's mamish mechuseh, b'mechuseh mimchal tidrosh. There's something going on here that's very, very deep. It's very, very deep that I can't touch. I can't explain. But what is it trying to explain to us? That basically I can get to a new place. In other words, if we have the world created already, how far can we get? I can keep doing tshuva. I can keep doing something. But my ratzon, where's my ratzon? Where's my real will? Is my will with me still, and I still trust in myself, or is my will completely with Hashem Yisbarach? And this is what this Chag is about. This Chag is about refurbishing my whole will. It's not just refurbishing what I'm saying, what I mean. It's refurbishing my will to make it back to my original ratzon. And everybody's ratzon, Aseh Ritzoncha Kirtzono, right? Make your ratzon like his ratzon. What's his ratzon? To create the world. To create the world. His whole ratzon was to create the world of Shabbos, a world that has Shabbos in it, right? Breshit bara Elokim, Breshit Ri Shabbat, to see Shabbos.
Ri Shabbat, to see Shabbos.
His whole ratzon in the world was to find Shabbos in the Bria, and that should have been our ratzon. But what happened? I went off. Why did I go off? Because I'm speaking and talking and moving and doing all sorts of things, and I'm going off, but I really want to go on. And this is what HaKadosh Baruch Hu saw, that Yisrael Be'emet, the Ratzon of Yisrael, and that's why it's a Pele. What does it help? That HaKadosh Baruch Hu, the Satan comes and wants to bring the Yareach and the sun as Dugmaot, as Eidim, right? It says that the Shevesh and Yareach are Eidim, Lifnei Hashem Yisparach. He tries to bring the second Eid is not there, right? What does it help? It helps a lot, because basically what HaKadosh Baruch Hu is doing is going back and saying, listen, he did this, he did this. We all did all sorts of things. But if we bring it back, what was the original kavanah of what the Yid did it for? Why did he do it? What did he really want? And that's what he's really doing. He's bringing it back, and he's bringing it back to where it should have been. In other words, the real Ratzon here was only in a makam of simanim, only in a makam of machshava, only on the otiyot. That's the reality of a Jew, right? Whereas the reality of the Umos Olam isn't like that. The reality, you bring them all back, they still have a Ratzon bad to do to us. But the reality of Yisrael isn't like that. The reality of Yisrael is the exact opposite. The reality of Yisrael on the real level, that's why a chet is called a chet. Why is it called a chet? La'achti et ha'matara. It's being machti the matara. It's missing. It's missing. In other words, you have a thing that you're shooting at, an arrow. You're shooting at this target, and what happens? You're looking for the middle part. I missed. I got the wall instead. That's called la'achti et ha'matara. I missed it. But where did I want? What did I want? I wanted the nekuda. And this is why Chazal saw that bemet, when it's called a Yom Truah is all din. So what's going to be? So he calls it a Yom Truah. But Chazal, through Torah Sheba'al Peh, through the otiyot of Torah Sheba'al Peh that we're supposed to understand in the Machshava, we're being medayek. This is the Bnei Yisachar and other places he explains it. Through the Torah Sheba'al Peh, they're learning out that basically, what do we have to do? We have to enclose the Truah with a Tkiyah before and a Tkiyah after. And the Truah itself, there's a machlokis, whether it's Shvarim or a Truah, right? So we have a machlokis in this, right? So Mimela, so we enclose all of them with a Tkiyah before, with a Tkiyah afterwards. There's no such thing as just being Meiria. There's a Yom Truah, Yelachem, but what do? We took care before and took care afterwards. Saying that we don't want the din. What do we want? We want to be mamtik the din. And that's the ikra of everything, to sweeten the din, that there should be no din on Yisrael and there should be no din on the whole world. Should be only rachamim gdolim. Only rachamim gdolim. You want to say something? Rachamim gdolim akabsech, right? And this is the inyan of these days. This is the inyan of this whole thing. And he says here, afterwards he says, Umeata bin vidbonein. If we go further down a little bit, he says, Umeata bin vidbonein, sof maaseh nikra milta. In the Gemara, so we call a milta, a maisa. So dibur b'lashon HaKodesh. And it's called a dibur in Lashon HaKodesh. Malchus peh v'torah shebal peh karinan la. We're calling malchus peh. In other words, it's coming out of the mouth, and it's a dibur, it's a milsa, it's a word, but it's a maisa. Right? Reishita machshava nikra siman. In the beginning of the machshava of somebody is called a siman. Bli itlap should be dibur, because it doesn't have any dibur yet. V'nei sof maaseh b'machshava tchila. So it's keter malchut, we call this. Keter malchut means sof maaseh, the maaseh is in the malchut, b'machshava tchila, it comes in the machshava tchila. Al kein simana milta. Therefore the siman is a word. Hu yichud nifla b'chol shiur koma. That the Gemara says simana milta, it's not just a thing. Simana is a maisa. It's a maisa. It's a maisa mamish. In other words, when the Nevi'im were starting to do a siman, just did a siman, it's mamish a maisa before, because they are starting off the good to come into the world. How does good come into the world? It comes out from the reshit of the ratzon. That's why when we write Shem Havaya, we're writing Shem Havaya. We're writing it from the Kutzar Sheyud. And then we're bringing it down into the Yud, and then into the Hey, and then into the Vav, and then into the Hey. We're writing it down, and it's coming into Shem Havaya, right? What's coming in? The Ratzon of Hashem is coming in. That's the Ratzon. And when I understand this, and I see that I can get back to this Ratzon, it can be part of me. It can be part of me. The Ratzon isn't just a thing out there. The Ratzon is what is the Ikra of the whole Maisa. There was a Maisa that Yirmiyahu did, that Elisha did, right? But what's the Maisa? The Maisa is without Dibur. And when the Maisa is without Dibur, it's without speech. So it's coming far before that. It's coming from where? From the Ratzon Helya, from Hashem Yisbarach himself. And this is why all the Maisim basically on Rosh Hashanah, it's a quiet day. It's a quiet day of Hizbonenus, of what we really want in life. Aseh ritzoncha kirtzono. Make your Ratzon His Ratzon. Make kirtzono, just make it like His Ratzon, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu wanted to build a world of Torah, a world of Torah, of mitzvahs, of Shabbos, of everything good that there is. And we want to take it back. We do all sorts of cheshbonos. But on Rosh Hashanah, the whole tikkun is to blow the shofar, and make the simanim without the dibur. The original way was without the dibur. Today we do it with the dibur, but without the dibur, even just to think about what we're doing, to think about what's really being done here, and that is a ma'isa. That's what he says. Simanim milsa. Simanim milsa hu yichud nifla b'chol shiur koma b'halot kol advarim l'shorsham. We're bringing it back to its shorish. We're bringing it back to its root. Umitmatkim kol adinim ki oz v'chedva b'mkomo. And all the din is mamish mitmatek. It becomes matok. V'zeu shamar Abaye hashta da'amrit simanim milta yehei adam ragil le'achol breishat. That's why Abaye is saying that since Simana is Milsa, Siman is Gmar Maisa. Simana is a Maisa. Even though it's just a Siman, I didn't say anything. But that is a Maisa. Yeh Adam Ragil Lechol. So therefore we have to be Ragil Lechol. Hatchalat Briat Olam Tov Ma'od Lam Takata Dinim Al Yidei Siman. And that's why, how do we mamtik it? We bring it back to before the Otiyot. That's Breishit. Breishit Nami Ma'amar Havi. Breishit Bara Elokim Et. He's creating first the Otiyot so that he can have a dibur. Before that, he doesn't have a dibur, right? He doesn't have a dibur. In other words, he doesn't have Otiyot. He can't say Vayomer yet. After the Otiyot, before that is the time that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is just with himself, and he's just creating. What's he creating? He wants to create a world. His Ratzon wants to create a world of Shabbos Kodesh. That's what we said. Breishit is Otiyot Ri Shabbat. The Bria should just see Shabbos Kodesh, the whole thing. And that's what we said. That's what we said many times, that on Shabbos Kodesh, when is HaKadosh Baruch Hu thinking to create the world? HaKadosh Baruch Hu is talking at Shalosh Shudas. They say, in Chassidus, they say that HaKadosh Baruch Hu HaKadosh Baruch Hu was keeping Shabbos before the Bria. And when is the first day of the Bria? The first day of the Bria is on Yom Rishon, Kafhei Elul, right? The Yom Rishon. Yom Rishon starts Miyad B'tzeit HaShabbat. So he's thinking about it, he's talking about it, at Shalashudas. That's what they say in Chassidus, that he was talking about at Shalashudas. He's talking about Uvdin Dechol. So what's Pshat? But it's not Uvdin Dechol. It's not Uvdin Dechol because his whole kavanah of the Bria was Kodesh. Kodesh Kodashim. That the Bria should be Kula Kodesh. Ri Shabbat. And that's what's coming out of Shalashudas. That's the Miuchad of Ravad the Ravin. That's the Ratzon of the Ratzon. When there was a Ratzon to create the world was created. Right? Through what? Through Breshit Barak Elokim Et Hashemayim Bet Haaretz. Et. He created the Otiyot and then he created all the Ma'amar. Right? Through the Ma'amar Pit. But before that there was a Ravad the Ravin. The Ratzon of the Ratzon came at Shalashudas. And that's basically what we're going back to at the Bria. At the Bria of Rosh Hashanah, when we're coming back up to Rosh Hashanah, we're coming back to the original Ratzon of Hashem Yisbarach in the Bria. And there, everything is Matok. Everything is Ratzon Hashem. Everything is what HaKadosh Baruch Hu originally wanted. That's what he says here, Atchalat Briat Olam Tov Meod, Lam Takata Dinim Al Yidei Siman, Umina Siman Bal Yidei Dibur. And from the Siman into Siman Tov, Mazel Tov. Right? If the Siman is good, it'll be Mazel Tov. It'll be good for the rest of the year. You have to get the Siman Tov. You have to get all the way back. Just the Siman should be Tov. The Machshava of the person. Va'ed ne'eman al yidei al zeh tkiyat shofar mibli dibur. Rak bekol lishma bekol shofar. Havein ha'dvarim beroch havlev. Open up your heart and you'll understand it. That's what he says. I just want to learn something. Two other things here. He says here. In number on the side here, right? On the side here, on the second page, he says, "B'nei davka b'zeh chodesh miyuchad ledin." Okay, we'll skip this part. B'chodesh Nisan, Rosh Chodesh Havaya Kisidra, right? Kisidra Havaya. In other words, the Yudbeit Chodeshim, the Yudbeit months, the 12 months, they're like a Scrabble of Yud-Kei Vav-Kei, right? Each month is a different Siruf of Shem Hashem, and each month is coming out of these Shemot of Hashem. The month of Nisan is Shem Havaya Keseder, Yud-Kei Vav-Kei, like it is. Kisidra Morah Rachamim Gmurim, and that's the name of Rachamim. Mibel is Morah Rachamim. Tishrei Chodesh Hashvi'i is the Chodesh of Tziruf V'Haya, and it comes out of a pasuk Vayiru Ota Sarei Paro. Right, when Avraham Avinu was going down to Mitzrayim, Sarei Paro's seer. It says Vayiru Ota Sarei Paro, and it's brought down in the Sfarim that this is where this name of Tishrei is coming from. Right, the Rashi Tevis of Tishrei, the Rashi Tevis of Shem Hashem that is bringing out Tishrei is coming out of the Safei Tevis, the end letters, Vayiru Ota Sarei Paro. Hatzeruf Hazeh Hu Moreh Al Din. Right? And when you merabeid, when you go Vav and Vav Hey and Vav and a Hey and a Yud and Vav and a Hey and a Yud and a Hey, then it comes out to Gematria Din. Okay? He just brings a remez of why it's Din. Ukshi Yisrael ma'apchin midat adin l'rachamim, hinei mitapech hatziruf shiyeh havaya kisidra k'mo b'nisan. And when we make it, when we tokea, and then Meiria, and then tokea, in other words, we put the trua between the rachamim, right? We put the trua between the or of chesed and the or of chesed, and we have din in the middle. What happens? Look what happens. He says, "Al kein tireh b'Torah b'makom shenirmaz sirub zeh Hashem techef nirmaz havaya keseder." So it changes right away. And this is what the Bnei Yisachar says, V'hu b'sofei tevot sarei paro v'yahalalu ota. The pasuk goes, V'yiru ota sarei paro v'yahalalu ota. In other words, when I do what the Torah is asking me to do, al pi the Chachamim, what happens? It changes the Yud Kei Vav Kei, changes into Yud Kei Vav Kei. What was beforehand, Vav and a Hey and a Yud and a Hey, becomes now Yud Kei Vav Kei. Because it changes Al Pi what Yisrael are doing by bringing it back to the original Ratzon. And it's the same pasuk. It's not the same pasuk. But it just, we read it a little later. And that's what it becomes. The Sod Yesharim brings down, he brings down here, I didn't print it up. He says, Pirush ki tkiyat shofar romez shemeisir hadam me'atzmo kol hagvanim. What is tkiyat shofar being meramis to? That you take away all your color. Umachlil atzmo bekala pnima. And you put yourself into an internal voice. The chalil that has within it three things. Eish, ruach, and mayim. Kechada, as one thing. Right? There's eish from the heart, from the heat. And ruach is what's blowing out. And water that comes out, that's the spit that comes out. Kachada Kedita B'Zohar Kodesh. Vayidei shemityatzei adam bizman hakesed. That when a person is coming at the time of the kesed, that the or is mechused, that there is no light. Hainu be'et shu mekabel al kol hashana. V'azu mevurar heitev. A person that he's starting to be mekabel on himself, all the kabbalas that a person is mekabel on himself to do throughout the year. V'azu mevurar heitev. And then he's mamish, he can see what he's about. He can see he's mevurar, in other words, he's in focus. Ki makira adayin deleit le migramei klum. Because at that point he knows that he has nothing from himself. Right? So everything that goes from there and opens up from there and is grown from there, is built from there, what does it become? It becomes a thing that all the hashpaot that happen, so it becomes from that ratzon, from that original ratzon. And that's a good ratzon, because we're shaykh to ratzon Hashem. Gam ken mevurim. Ki kasher mevurar ha'adam b'kabbalotav. When a person is mevurar from his kabbalas that he has, yitbarer mimele b'hashpaotav. When a person is mevurar in everything that he was mekabel, right? Everything he was mekabel. I received meis Hashem, and I'm really focused on that, and I really know what I received from Hashem, and I want that. Then all my hashpaot are also going to be mevurar. Right? That's what he says. Mimele yachakach b'chol hashana gam itpashtut hashpaotav gam kein mevurarim. Ki kasher mevurar ha'adam b'kabbalotav yitbarer mimele b'hashpaotav. K'moshe birer ha'admor b'mei Shiloach. Shemoshe Rabbeinu amar tchila liYisrael ha-pirush shel achilat matzah. He brings a raya for this. The Mei Shiloach. He says that the first HaKadosh Baruch Hu tells us about what Moshe Rabbeinu tells Yisrael that we should eat matzah. And then he gives us the parsha of Kadesh li kol b'chor. Lirmos shem yeh adam naki b'kabbalotav. That if I'm naki in what I'm receiving, Meis Hashem, mimele yu hashpaotav nami mevurar. Mimele, my hashpa will also be mevurar, and it'll be clean. V'chein hu kan shetzrichim be'et hatchalat ha'kabbalah shu Rosh Hashana la'amod b'shofar. Therefore, we have to stand with a siman at the beginning of the year. It's not a dibur, it's before there's a dibur. Allah Elokim b'trua Hashem b'kol shofar. Or Hashem is b'kol shofar mamish, right? The kol of Hashem. So he says, "V'cheinu kan shetzrichim be'et hatchalat ha'kabbalah," at the beginning of the Kabbalah of the year, Shu Rosh Hashana la'amod b'shofar, to stand in the shofar, lirmos shekol megamat chefzo she Yisrael, to be merames that anything that Yisrael want, hu rak lekabel ritzona pashut yitbarach. All that Yisrael want is to be mekabel the ratzon pashut. Not all sorts of diburim. All sorts of diburim is already mitchalek. It's already a bechina of din. The whole Torah is also has din in it. But before that, it's kulo chesed. Mimele, the whole Torah that I learned that year is going to be kulo chesed. The Moshe kol megamat chefzo she Yisrael rak lekabel ritzona pashut yitbarach. Umimele yiachar kach etzlo kol hashpaot hashana gam ken mevurim b'li itgabrut hastara. And then it'll all be begali. There won't be any hester. V'lo yeh od shum makom lekitrug. And there won't be any kitrug. Why is there kitrug? Because there's din. If there's no din, there's no kitrug. Ki kasher ma'amid adam mitzido kli yesh makom lekitrug. Ulai chafetz lekabel chutzpah. Right? When there's a kli, when there's a vessel, when there's something materialistic, then it's shayach that there could be a kitrug. But before that, when there's nothing materialistic, it's all b'machshava, it's all botiyot, beyond. Yesh makom lekitrug, ulai chafetz lekabel chutzpah, ma she'ein ra'ui lo. What's not shaykh to him? Avak she'ino ma'amid shum kli mitzido, ki chol megamat chefzo rak ritzona pashut yitbarach, azay nistam piyot kol ha'mekatrukim. Then all the mouths of all the mekatrukim aren't there, because they're non-existent. The only existence of the peh is b'malchus, but the malchus already went up, and if a person goes up at the beginning of the year, a mamish, he's pulling down, he's always pulling from that beginning, then the beginning is good, and all is good. And all the hashpah that's coming out, any hashpah that's coming out of the Kabbalah that I received, is going to come from there. Is going to come from beyond the otiyot. When it's not coming from the otiyot, when it's coming from the otiyot, then I can go all sorts of places. But when it's coming from beyond the otiyot, from beforehand, Breshit bara Elokim et, right? It's coming from before the otiyot. The machshava, the Breshis is also ma'amar. How is it a ma'amar? It's a siman of ma'amar. It's a siman, v'siman of milsa. Bezrat Hashem, we should have a good year. Bezrat Hashem, all should be good. Toda rabah. Anybody have any questions? Yeah. I can't hear.
Is that the Rim was saying about going beyond Shemayim? Is that Shiva saying?
Yeah. That's what the Kotzor Yud is. The Kotzor Yud is being ramezed to that midah. That midah. The midah of Keter, the midah of Ratzon, the midah of Ligvula. It's not, it can't be, it can only be rumaz to, it can't be talked about.
I must have missed that. What is the connection of
About what?
Was there a connect? I missed the very beginning.
Well, we started out with a bayit that says in the Gemara that Simanam Milsa, that we start with Simanim. On Leil Rosh Hashanah we start with Simanim. What are the Simanim? Simana, a siman isn't just a thing that we're doing. It's a remiss to something. It's a remiss without dibur.
All I know I'm saying about is there a specific connection between Kotzor Shiur and Rosh Hashanah?
Well, that's what we want to do because Kotzor Shiur is talking about going up to that place. Going up to that place. The Kotzor Shiur is rumas.
Is Malchus going up to Keter? Is that Or Choser? Is that a?
Not getting into things, but the koach of the bria is going all the way up. The koach of the bria is going all the way up. It doesn't matter what is called. It doesn't matter. You're using words. It's all of tefillah is those to the latata. In other words, all of tefillah is that. What's tefillah? Tefillah means that I'm being mitorev milamata, right? I'm not being mitorev milamala. Being mitorev milamata. That's tefillah. All tefillah is like that. But here it's a different darga. Without tefillah. Just a maisa. Siman milsa. That's what we're getting at. That the siman itself is a milsa. And that's why it's very, very important it's more of a day of shtika than it is a day of dibur. And people are told that they want to talk a lot, they want to talk a lot and say all sorts of things. But it's not about that. It's about machshava. Being machlit in the machshava that I mekabel on myself all machut shemayim. Bishleimus. Hashem Melech. Hashem Malach. Hashem Yimloch L'olam Vayim. When I chap that, and I really chap that in my machshava, everything that comes out during the year will come out through that. And I've got to chap that at that hour. That's why the original minhag was to not say it, not to say anything, just to have a siman of it, just to do it. You do this siman, and it becomes. That's what's going to come throughout the whole year. That's the beginning of this thought that's coming through the whole year. Excuse me? You don't say vidu. No al-chet, no vidu, no. Vidu, 100%. Just because of that. Excuse me?
Or bakasha. Not shiur or bakasha. It's not the...
No bakashas. Saying that Kadosh Baruch Hu is a melech. That's what it's all about. That's what the whole day is about. And thinking that.
Is this more malchus and keter or keter and malchus? And is there a difference of first there?
Keter malchut. It's always called keter malchut. It's not called malchus becket.
No, I'm saying there's the malchus and
keter malchut means that the keter, the malchus is going all the way up and being the chaber with the keter.
Is there a difference from the first and second?
Yeah, betach, there's big differences. The first day is total din, and the second day is chesed. How's the second day chesed? Because we're being mamtik it. HaKadosh Baruch Hu Yivyochel isn't mamtik anything here. We, through the shofar, we blow, and HaKadosh Baruch Hu goes from kisei din to kisei rachman. That's what's brought down in the Medrash. Imamish gets up. As we tokea, he gets up from kisei din to kisei rachman. Who's doing the avodah? Yisrael and Mitzvah. We do the avodah of the world. And we really have to be mechavein to this, to be mantik the din, that there should be no din on Yisrael, there should be no din on the world. That's the ikar of Rosh Hashanah. And you can only be mantik it in the shorish. You can only give it sweetness in the root part of it. It's talking about really where it began, because there everything is still sweet. You can grab it, nip it in the bud, so to speak. That's what you're doing. You're nipping it in the bud. You're cutting it beforehand, and then the whole thing after that goes chesed. That's how it's working. But we have to really get all the way up then. And that's the problem. Because we're stuck in our pettiness, so to speak. Or my pettiness. I can't think about you. But we're stuck like this. And this is the problem. And this is what the whole of Rosh Hashanah is about. It's a day of machshava, deep machshava. To get there. Toda rabba. Yeah.